What are trends in innovation? How can you use artificial intelligence? And what are 3 practical tips to improve your innovation efforts within your organization? Well, after this video, you are aware of these trends. You know 3 ways to use artificial intelligence for innovation and 3 powerful tips to boost the innovation in your organization. Let me start with a story. I was at the Johan Cruijff Arena in Amsterdam, that's a football stadium, to deliver a keynote presentation about innovation and technology in the future. But before that, I got a stadium tour. And what the guide told us, wow. Well, I will share that anecdote later and also what it has to do with innovation. Comment, like and subscribe. Do you have a remark or question? Please let me know. And also give me thumbs up. And do not forget to subscribe to my channel. Question for you. What did you recently learn about innovation? I would love to see your comments down below. My name is Joosten. I'm a futurist, a keynote speaker, and also an innovation researcher. And my theme is how to become future-proof. So what's heading our way and what can we do to prepare ourselves? So my lectures, keynote presentations, and workshops are all about technology, the future and innovation. And if you want to hire me, please send me a message. If you want to know what is innovation and also what are the steps, 5 steps within my innovation model, go to my YouTube channel and look for innovation model. And then you know more about my methods, my model, and also some practical tips to boost the innovation within your team or organization. To start, what are 3 trends in innovation? Well, after this part, you are aware of these 3 trends and you can also apply them in your own work. And the first trend is a lesson I shared at my keynote presentation at the Johan Cruijff Arena, where I delivered a keynote for Team IT Rockstars. One of the most important takeaways I gave to the audience during my presentation is the power of combination, of recombination concerning innovation. So you can focus on artificial intelligence, you can focus on cloud, on big data, whatever. But I stated that the most interesting things happen on an intersection between technologies. So I talked about sensor technology leading to digital twins. And if you combine that with quantum technology, for example, but you can also think of the merge between artificial intelligence with biotechnology. Maybe think for yourself what can happen on the intersection between synthetic biology and quantum computing. So I think if you're in such a position, if you're thinking about innovation in your domain with the help of technology, of course you have to be aware of what's happening in each of these fields, in each of these domains. But like the next level, the level up for you is also think of the combinations. Okay, what if I combine A with B, what happens then? And the second trend I derived from the introduction by Apple of their new iPhone. That was in late 2025. And it's a really remarkable lesson about innovation because it has to do about how do you look at innovation and also in combination with your ecosystem. So how can you use your product introductions to develop the next generation of products with your ecosystem and with your suppliers? Now you think, what do you mean, Peter? Well, let me explain. By the way, hat tip to Greg Eisenberg for pointing this out, because he shared an insight about why are the iPhones getting thinner? Do we as customers really need a thinner iPhone? And he stated, quote, that I don't think anyone asked for a thinner iPhone, but yesterday we got one. My take is Apple is training their suppliers to go thinner. To get Foxconn, one of their suppliers, to master thinner batteries, smaller parts, tighter tolerances. So when they launch AR glasses, augmented reality glasses, the ecosystem already knows how to make it at scale. The world's thinnest iPhone was for suppliers, not for us. So I think that's a really interesting lesson that you already looking forward with your product introductions, and then like this insight that you also get your suppliers already up to speed to prepare them for the next iteration of products. In this case, augmented reality glasses. All right, what's the third trend or insight? I read the book Focus about ASML by Mark Hiink. He's a Dutch journalist. And there were so much lessons about innovation in that book. By the way, if you don't know what is ASML, they make machines with which companies like TSMC, Intel, Samsung can make computer chips. So it's really one of the biggest European companies within the domain of technology and also computer chips. And one of the insights of this book about how ASML works is that ASML really masters the end-to-end integration of extreme complex systems. So it has to do with optics, mechanics, with software, but not by making each component themselves, but coordinating what is needed. So one of the lessons is that you choose which steps in the chain you want to master yourself and be an architect or integrator for the rest. So really about focus. Name of the book, what do you want to do yourself and what do you want to do with the suppliers within your ecosystem? So also sort of a link, of course, with my second insight about Apple, but this is also something that you can also ponder about for yourself. All right, how does AI, artificial intelligence, impact innovation? Well, after this part, you know how to use AI to improve your innovation. And are humans the only one that can invent? Probably not. There's a Swiss company called Ipruva, and they use AI to help to create new inventions. And their system, they analyze patents and technological documents to find connections between previously unrelated fields. And when it scouts or spots potential opportunities, human inventors step in to evaluate and refine these ideas. So, practical example, Ipruva, they helped Panasonic to develop the concept of using autonomous vehicles for delivering services during their idle time. The second insight is how do companies respond to artificial intelligence? And what I see is the use of AI and also prompting as a sort of prerequisite. Two examples that Accenture CEO Julie Sweet, she outlined plans to cut staff who are unable to reskill on artificial intelligence. And Citibank, they require the bulk of their workers to master AI prompt writing. So they really see, and you can debate about, about strategy or whatever, but anyway, they see AI and prompting as a really important skill to be ahead of the game, to really get a competitive advantage towards their competitors. By the way, concerning AI to use within innovation, to boost your innovation, I made a video about how to use AI, these large language models, to improve your innovation ideas. And you can look it up on my YouTube channel. And the third way to use AI for innovation is the use of controlled hallucination for ideation. And that's really interesting because you ask AI to make speculative connections, but within strict boundaries. For example, you say, this is the problem, this is the context, and then AI, you're going to hallucinate. So come up with free technologies or free ideas that don't exist, but they are theoretically possible. And you have to stay within the physical laws, so it's not like fantasy or science fiction. And then you come up with conceptual solutions. So, for example, think of urban traffic congestion during rush hour. And then using this method, it came up with piezoelectric road surfaces. That's where you can convert traffic pressure into energy that powers predictive routing. So that's an idea that's, well, it's possible, but still it's really out there. So then you can use AI, and that's also my main takeaway, to work together with AI to come up with new ideas and to also strengthen the ideas that you already have. And this is something I also like to do when I give workshops about innovation. AI is already part of the workshop because we now live in a day of age with AI. So I think this controlled hallucination for ideation is a really powerful method also for you as innovator to try for yourself. And if you did try it, please leave me a comment what you think of this method. I'm really interested and curious. What are 3 practical tips to improve your innovation efforts? Well, after this part, you are equipped with concrete steps to innovate better. And the first tip is to combine strategic foresight, aka futures research, with innovation. And I did that when I gave a workshop for PostNL, which is the Dutch package and postage company. So one interesting trend is the merger between strategic foresight and future studies with the domain of innovation. So most of the times there are 2 separate worlds in a lot of organizations. So you have people working on future studies, forecasting, strategic foresight, and you have the innovation team. But what we did here for the workshop for PostNL is merge them together. So first we had the exercise, like look into the future. What are things that are different in 2040 compared to now? And the second step is to transform these elements into an innovative idea, product, service, whatever. So in this workshop, you have the combination of strategic foresight and looking to the future, looking at spotting trends, and then also in a group making these ideas, building with these ingredients, as you can say, into innovations, product, services, or business models. Second tip is that innovation can start anywhere within your organization. And that's also my good go-to point. But I also got that impression when I talked with directors, with entrepreneurs, with managers, with innovation leaders. They all share the same insight with me that bottom-up innovation is key. But it's still difficult because your employees, your colleagues, they need to know where they can share their ideas. They have to have time and space to come up with these ideas and then also test their ideas. And then I see that most innovation teams are not focusing on these idea generation, but more of we get the ideas from the rest of the organization and we scout these ideas and then we help to test these ideas to come up with innovation and then also to implement them and then to scale them. So it can start anywhere, but then we have teams and departments to help these colleagues that come up with these ideas to turn them into products, services, new processes. So that's also a practical tip for you. And the third tip is to use the knowledge, insights, and experience of young employees. I did a lecture and a workshop for a large hospital in the Netherlands. And this is where I explain the benefits of using young employees for these kinds of sessions. So what's really cool is that during the workshop there was also some young employees, next geners, and they were asked just to to not be in a group but be like a flying squad and visit each group and come up with their own perspective, their own ideas, their own insights. So I think that's a really handy tip if you have like a conversation about strategy with the manager or leaders, that you also have a group within your organization of the young talents, creative thinkers, new generation, and also ask them to bring their perspective to the table. And not like in a formal way, like sitting in a sort of conference, but I think what we chose to do during the workshop today, as a sort of, like I said, outsiders, bringing in their own perspective and creative ideas. I think that's really handy tip also for your organizations to be better prepared for the future and also come up with innovative ideas for products, services, or other changes. So back to my story. We were also visiting the dressing rooms of the Ajax, which plays in the Johan Cruijff Arena, the soccer team, and also the dressing room of the away team. And the stadium guide told us that the dressing room of the away team was way more uncomfortable. The chairs, but it was also 4 degrees colder. It was also smaller. And I thought that's sort of also that mocking, that bullying is a bit pathetic, but also sort of funny, I think. And I also thought what it has to do with innovation. But innovation, you're not 100% sure if your idea gets to fruition, to really gets to become a new product or service or process or business model. It also has to do with increasing the odds, increasing your chances. And it also has to do with luck, of course, and preparation. And that's also what the soccer team of Ajax wants to do with their dressing room of their opponents. They want to increase the odds of their own success. And well, I think that I hope with my tips, my insights, and also with the use of AI, you can also increase the odds of your success concerning innovation. So my question for you is, what did you recently learn about innovation? It can be really small, it can be an anecdote, whatever. I like to read it. I'm really curious. So let me know. Thanks for watching. If you want to hire me for a keynote presentation, consultancy or webinar, send me a message. Comment, like and subscribe. Do you have a remark or question? Please let me know. Give me the thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. So I was at the Johan Cruijff Arena, but I did not tell the audience there, but I'm actually a supporter of another club in the Netherlands. That's called FC Groningen. And maybe you don't know the club, but there were main players from FC Groningen that played there, like Virgil van Dijk, Luis Suarez, but the most famous one is Arjen Robben. So go FC Groningen!